Good afternoon, everyone. This is Henry, and as we get into tonight's video newsletter, I've got to start things off here, coming into 2026 with a little bit more of a cautious stance. Now, Friday and Monday could bring anything. Obviously, these situations could change, but when you see how today's closes under the 10 EMA, and we now have a 5 EMA that is sloping a little bit lower, these are some of your faster, I still consider to be swing-based moving averages or swing-based way of using the moving averages for analysis. But with price closing below them, I just think you're in a situation similar to what you may have seen back here, and the market may be due for another little bit more of a pullback. Now inside that, and wanting to come into next week with that extra degree of caution, I think is important. At the same time, you want to have a list of names that when things start to shape up, and more so I think maybe in the first quarter of 2026, right? So the timing is always the art. I don't know that ALAB will be ready just yet, but I do want you to make note of this 3-day squeeze. Right? These are our directional signals that we like to use for the idea of compression, and then when that compression or that range is then going to resolve into a directional move, it's a signal that can be helpful for that, and I do think that ALAB has what it takes. I think that's going to be a good pick as we get into that first quarter. Now another that we can come over and take a look at is Reddit. And I'm just going to repeat myself here a little bit, that I don't know that Friday and Monday is when you got to start piling into these, but you do have in this case a nested squeeze. So notice how the nesting comes from multiple time frames. So you have a daily squeeze forming, a 3-day squeeze that is technically trying to fire long, and then a weekly squeeze as well in Reddit. So I like to look at these and think, even though this wasn't a perfect squeeze back here on the weekly of Reddit, I like to see what its personality is within signals like this. And you can see that when you had this signal before, what did price do? That was an amazing directional move. Now granted, this will be coming from a smaller market cap, so it's a little bit easier to get these bigger exponential moves. But all the same, I think when this signal really starts to show up, we could see something like what we saw back there over these past 3 months. And I just want you to be prepared for it. So those are two of my favorite picks. And then inside that, just one more name that I think we've got to emphasize some caution on here, but I really struggle to see it as a short. In these video newsletters, I really try to give you picks, direction, etc. There's a little bit of hurry up and wait that's going on right here, right? Because when we look at this daily chart of Microsoft, kind of like the S&P, right? Closing under what is now a declining 5 and 10 EMA with this squeeze forming, it's not a terribly good immediate pattern. But then if we come over and look at Microsoft against some of these anchors, and I'm going to show you 2 of these here. So this is a way of thinking about price and its relationship to volume rather than just price alone. And these 2 anchors, the first of which comes back here into April, and then a little bit more recent here on that spike low you made in November, I think these are important areas to watch. And for the most part, when you are above them, I want to try to give them the benefit of the doubt as being bullish, or at least acting as support. Now, of course, the big catch is that if those break and you start to see, Microsoft trading 475, etc., I really think you have to set up for a more bearish January. But we can use this as a bellwether. We can use it as one of the more important Mag 7 names. And against that price zone, I think it'll be important as we get into next week. So I hope you find the analysis helpful. You guys have a great New Year's Day, and we'll be back on Friday to see how these ideas look. Hey traders, this is Henry with simplertrading.com. I wanted to thank you for watching today's video. I hope you found it helpful, and if so, be sure to click the like and subscribe buttons down below. If you would like to also see me putting these ideas into action and trading my own account live in front of you, be sure to sign up at simplertrading.com, and I hope to see you in the chat room sometime soon.